Hey, this is Ohani Porter bringing you tips, tricks, and tutorials to become a better designer. Today, I am going to talk about the Marquee tool. The Marquee tool is right next to the Move tool. It generally looks like this, nice and long, so it's technically under it, but usually I go here and I click here. It makes it much easier for me to just click to the next one when they're more condensed. You could either click here where you have this square, or you could press M on your keyboard. We have a few options here. We have the rectangle, elliptical, single row, and single column. I don't usually use the last two. I usually go for rectangular and elliptical. Elliptical, it just means like oval or circle. What we're gonna do is talk about why do we use this in the first place. Well, it's actually just another selection tool. You could select it for adding, deleting, or even masking an image or drawing. What we're gonna do is we are going to add a new layer, and then we are going to do two things. We are going to draw something here, and we're going to leave this half blank. I'm going to show you what we could do with the Marquee tool. So one way to use the Marquee tool is to delete something in a selective area. What we could do is we could click and drag, whether it's rectangular or elliptical. We could hold shift to have a perfect square. We could let go to keep it out of proportion. Let's say I hold shift and I here. And what I could do is simply, there's so many things to do. And what I could do is just delete. And what that does, it's whatever is selected within these marching ants right here is I'm able to delete, add, and basically make effects that are only inside of this square. And that's pretty cool because now I could be very selective with how I am moving around. Not only can I do that, I could also add. Let's say I want to put it here, and I have my tool again. Even when I draw outside, it'll only be drawn within the bounding box. And I could deselect by command D, or I could go to select, deselect. You could also use this selection to move a selection to the next layer. You could do that by going here. We're going to use the elliptical marquee tool. We're going to go here. You could also hold shift to have a perfect circle, or we're going to use the oval. And I could put this into the next layer by going to here, new layer, and okay. And that was not it. Okay. I totally forgot how to do it via the long way, so I'm just gonna do it via shortcuts if you don't mind. I'm just gonna press Command J, which actually copies it. So if we hide this, you'll see we made our selection. If you don't want to copy and you just want that selection to be only on the new layer, then you press Command Shift J, and that will take out the selection. In addition to that, you also have other options in the select tool that I will go over again if you check out the other tutorials, where you go here to select. You have all of this, but usually you could actually modify it by border, smooth, expand, contract, and feather. But let's say, for example, that we have a selection here, but we want more pixels, but we don't want to make a whole new selection. We could click expand, and we could tell Photoshop how many pixels if we want to expand it by. So let's say we say 5 pixels. If you notice that there was a slight change, we could even make it more drastic. You can see the difference. Let's say 20 pixels. Click OK. We see how that got bigger? You could also do this via contrast. And you could say 30 pixels. And it helps a lot being able to do this, because you may have selections that you don't want to do over. You just want them to be a little bit more in or slightly out, and that is a great way to do it. And honestly, that is how you use the Marquee tool. In my next video, I am going to show you how to use the lasso tool. If you got anything out of this, subscribe to the channel,